That's interesting. I'm gonna have to.
I mean, we don't check facts, like I said. but with that said, Emily, congrats, top 7, Hell's Kitchen, season 20, Young Guns,
Thank you.
and 4-year anniversary of being plant-based.
Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Ooh.
It's like a penis.
This is a big glass, so it's like a double. I'm not gonna do 2 shots at once.
Or you can. I mean, too hard, too fast.
No, I mean I could, but I'm not going to. Like, gotta pace it.
Fair enough. Hey, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast, the podcast with strong opinions about things that we may or may not know too much about. Larry, come on, Larry. We talked about this. So we're going too hard, too fast.
No taco.
We're going too hard, too fast with Chef Emily Hirsch. We have discussed some hard-hitting topics. We've taken some hard-hitting liquor shots. And we're going to talk about her experience on season 20, Young Guns, Hell's Kitchen. It's going to be fun. We're having a great time. And you guys should be really excited with what's next for Emily Hirsch. She's making great things. We're going to talk about it in this episode. And so sit back, buckle up. Let's go too hard, too fast. Larry, I know.
Where's my Venmo?
Where's Venmo? Larry, we're doing this for the good of it.
Do I have to come to your house again?
Start the show.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Hey guys, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast. This is Chef Emily, the vegetarian who competed to work at a steak restaurant.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
The podcast of the century.
So now I'm trying to think about what I'm going to name this episode. Since we've totally, in true Too Hard, Too Fast fashion, we've gone off the rails, and I love it. So I kind of want to bring it up. I'll bring it a little bit back to on the rails, back on the wagon. If we're going to throw that out there again, a little bit on and off. I want to go back to like the whole being a plant-based chef, because it's super interesting, because on the show you're cooking with meat and protein. And so one time my wife, she became vegan for a while, and it sucked for me a lot. And I was only like 80% vegan, meaning I ate meat on the weekends. But there was some food that was introduced to me from there, like cauliflower pizza. That is a thing, and it's really good for me. I liked it a lot.
Liked it?
Yeah. And here's the thing, a lot of the stuff that my wife made while she was vegan, she hated it, and I was just like, yeah, this is amazing. Cauliflower buffalo bites, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm okay with it. Depends how they're made. Like sometimes they're just too cauliflower, and I love cauliflower, but
that's rare that you like cauliflower. That's like a good first sign if you want to ever eat vegetarian.
Yeah, I think, I don't know what it was, but I've always loved it since a kid. Broccoli and cauliflower. So that was the thing. Eggplant parm, is that a meal?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I was like, is it eggplant parm, or I'm just thinking eggplant because of the emoji? I'm just like trying to figure out where the connection is. But I think I've had it.
My favorite vegetable is actually eggplant.
Eggplant, and you were talking about it on the show, and I'm pointing over here because the TV's over here. In case you want. Yeah. That you had said something like the ingredient you like working with the most, or you like involving in the meal, is eggplant. And I think that's what reminded me. I was like, yeah, eggplant parm. I think that I've eaten that before, and I like that a lot. The whole thing with that, with her making the food, like the vegan food, I did end up hating pasta a lot. And I felt like I used to love pasta, but now I hate it because I felt like everything that was introduced with vegan was, very pasta-y, a lot of pasta. I could be wrong. Maybe we weren't very educated on what you can make with that. But do you stick with vegan or do you do vegetarian as well? Like in your own eating, not just cooking.
Yeah, so I have been strictly vegetarian. I have to identify myself as vegetarian because I still eat cheese for like 4 years now. But whenever I try to cook for somebody else or cook for my social media, I always try to do vegan. But I always, when I'm cooking for myself or family members or something like that, I'll always add in cheese or dairy if they're people who are meat eaters. So it's just always, it's a balance. But now I've been kind of moving towards more a vegan diet. So I have kind of cut out milk and what else? Ice cream and stuff like that. But I really still love cheese and eggs. So that's a hard one for me. But it's always a balance, though. I always just say it's always a balance and what I'm craving. Like today I made eggs and I was kind of grossed out by them a little bit just by how I cook them. So it's always different for me.
Oh no, did my Instagram story gross you out?
Because when you send that to me, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make eggs. Like literally you made me want to make eggs. But then I made eggs and I made them over easy and I usually don't make them that way. And I think I undercooked them a little bit. So I was like,
I was in the middle of cooking them and then I was sending it. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to send this out. My pan looks so gross. This whole picture itself looks gross. Oh well, let's go with it.
what were you eating in the question story with the question?
Oh man, that is okay. So we recorded yesterday with another guest. And so I was kind of like, I was pretty drunk skis. And so I was like, well, I want to put something out because I really like when people send out questions. When they send us questions, they're really funny and they're so random. So I wanted to do it. And I was like, oh my God, it's so late. And so I went into the fridge. I was like, I had to do something with food. So I went to the fridge and I found this old taco that's probably been sitting in the back. It's an egg and sausage taco. And it's sitting in the back. And it's probably not, I probably should have not taken a bite out of it, but it was a Bill Miller's taco.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so it's good when it comes out. But I don't know how long it's been there. I bit it and I took the picture and I worked out I took the picture and it didn't come out right the first time. I'm already like bite in, like my teeth are in it. And so when I try to do the second one, it's not sticking. It's just like falling off. So I was like, I'm gonna have to. And I just took the bite and I ate it. And I went for the second one to retake the picture. And so it was kind of gross, but that's what it was.
I thought it was like a dumpling. It looked like some sort of dumpling or something.
Yeah, that's probably why it looked like a dumpling because it was so old.
I just want to ask, do you ever get like the same kind of responses from people when they know that you live a plant-based diet lifestyle, but you could be like cooking something for them that has meat in it? Like, do you ever get people that are like, why, or like, how are you going to know this? I'm going to like this,
I think I get more hate from, this is something that surprised me when the first episode aired, was I get more hate from the vegans than I do from omnivores. So
okay.
There's this one scene where the first time I ever talked to Gordon Ramsay, I tell him that sometimes I get drunk and eat chicken nuggets. So
I found vegetarianism. That became my new passion.
When was the last time you snuck in somewhere and had a cheeseburger?
After a couple, drinks, a little tipsy side of me, gets the chicken nuggets or gets the...
Great. Starting off great here. But
well, that's not real chicken, so that counts, right?
Well, it's true. Yeah, we don't know what's in that stuff. Not anymore. Now I've evolved to, back then, 2 years ago, I'd only been vegetarian for 2 years. So I would break sometimes and eat the chicken nuggets. But once that aired, I would get like a lot of messages from vegans. I love the vegans, but the vegans would message me and be like, how dare you even be on a competition with meat in it? And how dare you like taste the meat while you're competing? And so they were a little bit more extreme with their views on me cooking meat, but eating a vegetarian diet than say omnivores would be. Omnivores were a lot more like, oh, that's cool, you know, because they don't really have a view on that kind of stuff, or maybe they do, I don't know. But yeah, so that's been my kind of dilemma with the show is the responses of people who are like-minded like me, and even more so on the vegan side, because I'm just vegetarian, of what their opinions are on the whole thing and what I should be doing with my life. And so it's interesting.
Well,
That is
being 80% vegan, I had my choice of opinions when I saw you cooking meat. I was like,
Oh, yeah?
no, I'm just kidding.
Were you vegan when that aired? Because that would have been interesting to know your opinions.
Well, it wasn't a real opinion. It was just like, I was thinking, oh, dang, I wonder if she gets any shit from vegans
Mhm.
or even vegetarians, because she's like clearly handling meat. And I think vegetarians are a little more like, I don't know, maybe they're a little more easygoing than vegans, but being 80% vegan, I remember when it was like, whoa, shit, you can't put cheese on that, or how dare you even cook my eggplant on the same griddle that you use to make that beef or whatever. So
I love how you say 80%, like you know the exact percentage of you eating plant-based and you eating meat. I love it. I love that 80% so specific.
I don't even know. Like I've always just that's how I've always identified as 80% vegan. Well, because you have those 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, right? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. 80% vegan.
Maybe I'll start saying that. 80% vegan.
There you go. That way nobody can give you, crap about anything. It's like, look, the 80% of me is doing the right thing. The other 20% is just going crazy.
Exactly.
So yeah, like that was my thought. I was like, I wonder if she gets that kind of, if any mess like that. And also I wonder what her reasoning for being vegetarian or going into vegan, like, is it health? Is it the fact that she wants to save the cows? Is it more than that? Like, I want to know, because there's so many reasons for it. When my wife did it, it was health. And then now I make fun of it, and that's why I said save the cows, because she wants to save the cows. Even though, like, we'll probably throw down some barbecue and whatever now that she's there, but she always has that feeling like, oh my god, the cows. And I'm sorry I keep saying that, but I'm picturing the Instagram picture that you have, and I just saw, not just literally just a while ago, I saw the picture of you celebrating your 4-year anniversary, and you're like petting the cows, and you're like, really truly save the cows.
No, that's so funny that you say that, because yeah, I think when I started off with my journey, it was for health. So I watched all of those documentaries that were like, oh, these people have like reversed cancer, they've reversed their mental health. Like for me, I was on a mental health journey, so I really wanted to increase my mental health, and it definitely did that. It definitely made me feel a lot better. But every year, I feel like it's been more and more increasingly ethical reasons. So now it's mostly save the cows. So if you want to know, now it's mostly save the cows. And I think I just have seen things of following different platforms and just talking to different plant-based eaters of just their views and their experiences. But it's also health, right? Because I feel like we should be a little bit more balanced in our diets, especially coming from being a Texas girl and having parents who would serve me meat as like 3/4 of the plate, like a little bit of rice or whatever, and then a little bit of fat. But meat was the thing. Like every single meal would be meat. We had to have meat, or else we wouldn't be eating right. And so having grown up like that, and how I eat now, and realizing how much better I feel and how much more beneficial it is to eat more veggies, I think my view is not completely cut out meat, even though I have, doesn't mean that I believe that everybody should. I think what my stance is and my platform is that everybody should just add in more vegetables, because it's honestly, our society it's a bunch of meat eaters. Like, how are you supposed to change the world in like a week, telling everybody just like, how dare you, don't eat meat? I think that it's way more beneficial to be like, yeah, you can have meat for a couple of meals, but how about you like load your plate with veggies and just have meat as a side, or have a meatless Monday, or do something like that. I think that's a lot easier to do. And I think once people do that, then they realize, oh yeah, veggies are cool. Like veggies are flavorful if I cook them right. And then hopefully later on they'll be eating more and more and more, and sometimes some days or some weeks not even miss meat. So that's what I feel. And I feel like it's all, like I said before, balance.
Yeah, and you're definitely onto something, because from listening to that, I'm recalling that the fact after doing this vegan thing, there is some incorporation of like, I wouldn't say a meatless Monday, but a day where I go, you know what, I'm not feeling like eating meat, and so we'll make something that doesn't have any meat. There's certain things that like when my wife wants to make bean chili, I was like, nah, you gotta throw some meat in there. But but there's a lot of things that we incorporate, like cauliflower pizza. I'm still down for it. Let's do it. But like there's and different things that we still buy that are vegan. I guess you could say, like there's this cheese. I think it looks like white cheese, but it's vegan. It's vegan cheese. And I'll put that in a grilled cheese I'll put that on anything.
Nice.
It's supposed to have cheese, but you throw it's so good. It's so much better. I think I have it. Hold on. Let me show you.
Find cheese. Because I feel like vegan cheese is disgusting right now.
I've had it once, and yeah, it was not for me. It was not for me.
I did a grilled cheese yesterday with the vegan cheese. Is it follow your heart?
No.
Okay, good.
It's chow cheese.
Oh, okay.
It's made with chow tofu. And it sounds disgusting, but
okay. Because I told Larry I made a grilled cheese.
And it says vegan on there too. I never noticed that.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
I'll put this back before it goes back.
I love how we got to the fridge so fast.
Oh, it's like right there.
It's right there. It's like that way I can get another beer real quick without pausing the podcast. Speaking of which,
and it's funny how you were you pausing? Sorry. Whoa, I saw that. Okay.
I know, right?
I was just gonna say, it's funny how you say that too, about trying to incorporate a little by little. Over the past few months, I've definitely, since COVID too, like you're at home all day, you just cook, right? So I got tired of eating the things I would usually cook, because I'm one of those people, like the way you said, I grew up in a Mexican house where if there's no meat on the plate, like nobody's gonna eat. Yeah. So it's like you have to do it. And then still cooking like that for yourself and as an adult, and then you live alone, and then like you're really alone, like these past year and a half, 2 years, you get tired of eating the same things. And you also realize, like the way you were saying earlier, like you don't feel good, like you just don't feel good. So you're like, how can I make myself feel better? Like, okay, I'm still at home all day, so I am going to still have these, but how can I try to balance it out the best you can? So yeah, I'm definitely, I feel like I'm in very early stage 1 of trying to do it, where over the past few months, just anything I make, I just load it full of vegetables. I'm a big stir fry person. And recently, you're talking about cauliflower earlier. Over the past couple of months, every single stir fry now is cauliflower rice instead of regular like white rice, because I would buy like frozen white rice. I love cauliflower rice. It is my new, like if I open the freezer right now, there's literally 7 bags of cauliflower rice in the freezer right now.
Prove it.
And you want to see it?
No, I'm kidding. Okay,
no,
let's do it. Let's do like an episode of Cribs on this.
Okay, Cribs. Okay. I just went to the store today too. Look, this is all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, don't look at the meat. It's full of meat too, but that's okay. And then also, because I kind of realized like it's really good for me personally to like phase out pasta, and like grain. So I've also gotten really into like red lentil pasta, which is really good, like really good. The secret I found to red lentil pasta though is you have to, after you cook the noodles, you need to add all the noodles into your pasta sauce and let it like absorb the taste, and it won't be as red lentil-y.
Got it.
And you're like, okay, so yeah, that's my
She's
vegan
like,
tip.
she's like, motherfucker, you realize I'm a chef, right?
No, I know, but hey.
Red lentil pasta. That's a good thing. I'm gonna have to buy it. I actually have lentils about to eat right now. I think they're like green lentils or something. But yeah, love me some lentils.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what lentils are, so there's that.
Green.
Also, I got really nervous when you were showing the fridge. I don't know why I was thinking that we're gonna see like a severed hand or something. I was like, oh my god, that's what I was feeling. That's what I got the feeling.
Only thing you'll find in there is a lot of chicken. I'm a big chicken eater. I'm not a big beef eater. I mean, there's beef in there, but it's like maybe once a week. I'm just a big chicken person. I love chicken. I'll eat any kind of chicken. I even bought an air fryer today just to make more chicken. Like it's just how it goes.
Ooh, I love fryers. Who doesn't?
I just recently became an air fryer fan because I house sat for somebody who had one, and now I was like, I love it. George has the same one that I just bought, and I saw it at his house the other day. I was like, that's what I'm gonna get. He's like, he just made a face at me. Like, okay.
I don't like it because I don't like the smell. And I'm a very I'm a smell person, and I can't stand the smell, and I won't be able to. I mean, I'll still eat the food. I don't know why I was gonna say I won't, but it's just like the smell gets to me.
The smell, there is a smell when the air fryer is on, but the smell does not reflect the smell of the food.
True.
That's what I've discovered. Yeah.
True.
So yeah.
The one that it fries, but it also like bakes, and it also dethaws.
Yeah, I got it. It's the, I don't know if I can say the brand. I'll say the brand. It's the Ninja, but it's the double one. It has like 2 drawers in it, and it's really cool. The reason I like it is because you can cook 2 different things at 2 different temperatures, and it has a setting where like if one thing needs to cook for 40 minutes and one's for 30, when the 40 bin gets down to the 30 will automatically start. So all your food's done at the same time.
Y'all are bougie.
Dang. And we're not sponsored. So Ninja, if you guys wanna you know.
And it won't sell at Target, if you're watching too. There you go.
I brought out whiskey because I wanted to celebrate your top 7 finalists with a shot. Is anybody down for a shot?
Yes. Are you doing whiskey? Does that mean I have to do whiskey?
You can do whatever you're comfortable with, but if you want to do vodka, tequila, wine.
Wine. I will do tequila. I will. Hold on.
Awesome. Larry, get you a drink.
I know I have tequila because I showed you earlier. So but I am going to be bougie and I'm going to chill it.
I'm going to chill it too.
Yeah. If I
do you guys have like an instant chill, or what? How are you going to chill?
You chill it.
Oh, fancy. Real bougie.
Yeah.
She was right. He says, talk amongst yourselves. I'm the only one here.
I'll do it on air. Oh, see, she had the same idea. I was like, and since y'all already called me bougie twice, I decided to do it out of a bougie wine glass instead of like a regular shot glass. So there you go.
Out of a cactus shot glass.
Well, that's actually pretty cool.
Mine's plain. I usually do mine out of a mason jar, but I couldn't find the one I use.
Okay, so if y'all are looking for a good tequila, I did there's a liquor store by my apartment, and I did a tasting, and it's a local tequila place, and they do flavored ones.
Oh, I just saw that come across my Instagram not too a while ago.
It's really good. Yeah, and it doesn't taste fake at all. It tastes like a slight taste of coconut at the end.
What's the percentage since it's a flavored one? Is it 30%, 35, or full 40?
Let's see. 50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you can clean the floor with it, or you can drink it.
Drink, or you can drink it.
Yeah.
Since you are drinking fancy tequila, but also cheap wine, I am drinking cheap whiskey.
Nice.
It's about $10 for this thing. It's plastic. That's usually a sign of cheapness.
I'm drinking some Humidor
Ooh.
because I was making margaritas a while back, but I don't know how it happens. I feel like they do this on purpose where you always wind up running out of mix before you run out of liquor. And so it's like, even if you buy the big handle, it's still like, I didn't make that many margaritas. Why am I out of mix? Like, so.
The alcohol ratio is always different.
I mean, and I'm a heavy pourer. I'm one of those like at-home wine glass pourers where it's like the whole glass. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
It means you're good.
So,
Do you usually drink your tequila chilled?
Me?
No, yeah. I'm not interested in Larry.
Yes. The only reason I do so is because there was a moment at a friend's 21st birthday where we served him a warm alcohol. He ended up.
Oh.
So I always think of that now. I didn't even vomit from it, but I'm like, oh no, it needs to be chilled. I think that moment. I was gonna chill it.
Well, the saying here is the warmer, the drunker. So
Really?
I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what we say.
Who's we?
Me.
Who's the we?
You know, well, I mean, it was a college thing. Everything, all my Too Hard Too Fast, even the name came from college. Like it's a moment of like when somebody's going too hard, too fast. You know, they show up to the party and it's just like they're done before anybody else has a second drink. So that's kind of like the thought process in that. So all my references are coming from college, and the thought was if you have beer, you keep it room temperature because the warmer, the drunker you get.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to.
I mean, we don't check facts like I said. but with that said, Emily, congrats, top 7, Hell's Kitchen, season 20, Young Guns,
Thank you.
and
Cheers.
4-year anniversary of being plant-based.
Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Ooh,
Ooh.
It's like a peanut.
This is a big glass, so it's like a double. I'm not gonna do 2 shots at once.
or you can. I mean, Too Hard Too Fast.
No, I mean I could, but I'm not going to. Like, gotta pace it.
Fair enough. We still have to talk about Hell's Kitchen. I think we barely even touched it.
No, I'm just having too much fun with you guys. We've been getting off topic.
I know, I love it. That's all. I mean, as long as you don't have a time crunch, we're good.
Good.
Perfect. All-nighter. We're pulling an all-nighter, Larry.
Just kidding. I'm like, I have
I gotta
something
go,
in the air
guys.
fryer. I gotta go. Yeah.
All right. So Hell's Kitchen, season 20, Young Guns. Was there any offense to it? Did you take any offense to the fact that, well, and I asked this because at the beginning, when the very first episode, they kind of made fun of like, oh, not made fun of it, but it was kind of like implying, at least to me, the inexperience of it. And then also the fact that nowadays social media is taking over everything. And there was even somebody that joked, the phone has to eat first.
Oh, Brandon.
Yeah. So I was like, I wonder if they're just like, they're obviously hitting it right on the, I don't know what the saying is when you make a joke that's like right on, and it's kind of offensive, but it's like trying to be nice. Did you take any offense to that?
I think so. Given all of the past things before Hell's Kitchen, I'm really used to that kind of humor where people make fun of you. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna take it as funny. I didn't really take offense to anything. The only thing was with the challenges, we were like, do we really have to make this like a cheesy millennial thing? Like every single challenge was very cheesy millennial.
In today's emoji jacket communication challenge.
And with the phones and all of that stuff, that was a bit like, but
you have to ground out the meat. So you're making
hamburger and fries?
Yes, you're making a hamburger and fries.
Okay.
we're like, fine, we haven't had our phones for 2 weeks now, and we're like, okay.
I want to have confidence in my team, but I can't help but feel a little nervous that I'm completely relying on somebody else to tell me how to cook.
I think they played that up a bit, but because we were the first young generation to be in Hell's Kitchen, so given they were probably going to play that up a bit. But other than that, with people, like, there are a lot of comments on us being younger and us not having experience, and of course those are things that we've already thought of before. So I don't know if I can speak for the other contestants, but I always thought, like, okay, when I get haters, then I've made it, you know? It's a positive thing. So I think it's actually funny. The other day I got a message from somebody that this is the best hater comment by far. They said that I looked like the chicken from Chicken Run. Have y'all seen Chicken Run?
Oh yeah. Well, there's a bunch of chickens in that one.
There's a bunch of the main character chicken.
It's been a while. I don't see it, but
but I was like,
would you be offended if I did it like on side by side?
No. Side by side. I think it's hilarious. I think the trolls are just, there's something you have to laugh at. Every single negative thing that comes at you, you know, it just means that you've made it, and you've made it to a level where people are insecure and they're hating, and it shouldn't be like that. It should just be all love. So I've taken it as a comedic approach, and I've tried to find things, there are negative things thrown at you, and especially with the millennial thing, like, we are that generation that uses our phones a little bit and just should have fun with it and shouldn't, you know, take it too seriously. And that's what I kind of thought about throughout the whole process, was just, you can't take yourself too seriously, because this is a TV show. It's for entertainment.
100%. And I think I like that you see yourself in that light, because I grew up in the way, you know, at least my family. Mm-hmm. And they would always say, like, oh, it's because that's the way his family is. Like, if you're not getting shit on, then you feel like it's like, where's the love? You know, like, and so, and then even with my friend groups, like, the reason I have Larry on here as a guest co-host is because I know if I mess up, he's gonna call me out on it and he's gonna make fun of it. And that's what I need for guests, you know, for guests that coming in and don't know me. Like, I want you guys to be comfortable with the fact that I'm gonna make jokes. I want you to make jokes, and so I like that whole, just make fun of, be okay with the making fun. Yes, I do not like actual hate.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that. Like, that can fuck off real quick. But I'm sorry, I'm cussing too much, and I haven't heard you cuss at all. I hope it's not offensive.
It's totally fine.
All right.
I cuss in the kitchen usually, or when I'm mad, so it's fine.
Perfect. Hey, Gordon Ramsay cusses all the time, so you know what? Right? But
sidebar. I'm really upset because he actually told me to shut the F up, or shut the fuck up, but in one of the episodes, but they cut it out, and I was so angry because that's another thing. I was like, if Ramsay tells me, like, cusses me out, then it needs to be on air, but they didn't air it, and so I'm very upset that didn't come to air. That was like a life goal.
And I wonder, like, if Gordon Ramsay does not cuss you out, like, that would, to me, it would feel like he doesn't believe you have what it takes.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's going back to, like, if people are being, like, tough love with you or making fun of you in a lighthearted way, that's the same with me. Like, if I like you, I'm gonna make fun of you, and I'm gonna, you know, love you in that way. So I feel like everybody just needs to kind of take that in a positive light and not so sensitive, and just be confident in who you are, no matter what anybody says. As long as you are confident with yourself and how you're portraying yourself in the world, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, then it doesn't matter.
Very true. Very true. So I'm gonna say this, that I can feel the whiskey already. So maybe that's a sign of how things are gonna go. But so you mentioned, like, the games that are, you know, very millennial. Did anybody? I've only watched I was gonna say Emily Luna. Oh my God, the fucking whiskey. So anyway, but So with Mary Lou's, that was the first season of Hell's Kitchen I've ever watched. And I only watched it because she was going to be on here. And I told her that too. So watching that, I'm kind of thinking now, did they take your phones away just because of the whole millennial thing? Or is that just what they do for the show's purposes?
Yeah. They took away, I think I brought sorry, my cat has the zoomies right now. So if you hear stuff in the background, she's going crazy.
What is that? What is the zoomies?
When you have zoomies as a cat, you just run around frantically like you're possessed.
So okay.
They call it like the night crazies sometimes, because then we do it at night. Like they just start randomly running back and forth all crazy. Yeah.
Especially when I'm asleep, she runs across my chest, just be like, "Hey, I'm here. You were asleep. You forgot about me, so wake up." So she has.
This is a thing with cats. Any cat?
Cats are crazy.
Dang, that's great. I have a dog. I have dogs, 3 dogs actually. One that looks like it's a cat, but I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I have zoomies as well. I don't know because I don't have a dog. But
well, they go crazy too. But
Yeah. What was I talking about? What
was I talking about? The phones. If they took it away just for you guys, or if they do it in general.
But I'll just say, they took away a lot of things, and it was crazy. Actually, I think they made it a thing at the very beginning of the episode, where we met Gordon Ramsay, and I don't know if they aired this, but we had our phones in our back pockets, and they're telling us take a lot of pictures because y'all are millennials, take a lot of pictures. And then they did that. It could be like, oh, give us your phones, and he had a big bucket, and we had to put all of our phones in a bucket, and then we just never saw them again until the end of filming.
Wow. And that didn't affect you at all? Did it not having to
No, I think because it was just such a different environment and there's so much going on. We were working straight for 12 hours a day, 12 to 15 hours a day. There was no time to even look at your phone, and all you wanted to do when you're done was sleep. So I did not think of my phone until the very end of my time when I was getting exhausted. I was like, okay, I want to talk to my mom. Luckily, I got to see her on TV the day I was eliminated, but I was like, yeah, I want to talk to my family. I want to sleep in my own bed, all of that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because when I was watching that moment, and it's right at, like you said, eliminations, and it's for black jackets. So it's a big thing. Larry, I know you don't know what we're talking about, but black jackets, actually, Larry has a good Hell's Kitchen story to share. But for Hell's Kitchen, black jacket means you're in this elite group, and that very few people get to be in, and blah, 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 and all that stuff. We won't go into it because we know the results of that. But so that's with my thing with that, they're showing you this, your message from your family, and it's so heartfelt. And then moments later, oh, sorry, Emily. I was like, well, what the fuck? You gotta buy. And it's well, I almost didn't need that message because she's going home.
Yeah. That was the day where, I feel like there are some days where people choke or people don't perform the best. And I don't want to say that I choked, but I just had there were 3 challenges in the whole black jacket competition. On every challenge, 2 people got a black jacket. So the first 2 challenges I kind of screwed up on. I overcooked shrimp. I don't think I ever cooked shrimp in that competition until then.
And I don't know if I've ever met a chef with a more positive, stunning outlook than you have on a daily basis.
So I tried to poach it, but I've never cooked with shrimp before. So I was like, I don't know how long to poach it. I over poached it. And then the next one I tried to make sushi, and my sushi didn't hold. So it was a big mess. And then by the end of it, I was like, you know what? I know how I've performed. I know that my experience is way less than the other people who have been here. I've made it so far. I'm just going to have fun with this. So
you have a very wise head on your shoulders.
Thank you, Chef.
And inside, there's this little genius that's just about to start emerging?
I think of it as being able to see my family after not seeing them for a long time and being able to have that moment was like, whoa, like I made it this far. That's cool. Like if I leave, then I leave. But I know that there are a lot of people who supported me who are upset about it, and which is really awesome. But for me, it felt like my time, and it felt like how it was supposed to go. And so I was very at peace with it when I left. I was actually really happy about how everything happened and how I exited and everything like that. So I think if I would have went farther years ago when I was very experienced, that's when it would have gone downhill. So I think it was the perfect ending for me. It was the perfect journey, and I couldn't have asked for anything different.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
This was such an amazing experience.
Oh dear. You're going out on a high. Don't you dare forget that.
Yes,
okay.
Fair enough. I think I was a little invested just knowing that you were going to be on here. But then I would say, it's like, well, now she can talk. I know just now she'll be able to share a little more now.
Yeah, because we can talk about all of the things, and I won't give away anything. Well, maybe I will.
I don't know. Maybe we'll take another shot and then we'll see how it goes.
I may or may not be back for the finale. So.
Oh dang! Keep the people watching.
Keep your eyes open. I may or may not be. I can't say.
Can't say. Fair enough. Let's do another shot then. No.
Do a half of one before my words start slurring. I'm myself on TV.
All right, we'll do that, but not till later. But so when you're in that elimination spot and Gordon Ramsay is talking to you and he has really heartfelt things to say, are you listening to any of it? Or is there stuff going on in your head?
I think a little bit of both. I remember, so with TV, obviously, there are things that are included in TV and there are things that are cut out of TV. And so when I was eliminated, it was crazy because I think Antonio and I were really, really head to head of the same skill level. Steve, I will admit, Steve is way up. Like, he is a talented guy. He should have gotten black jackets way before. But all of us are pretty level, and we all made it really far. We all had really good runs, so we were all pretty matched up. So when it was time for Chef to decide, I say Chef, but Gordon Ramsay to decide, he had to walk away because it was such a hard decision. He walked away. He paced a little bit, and we were like, what's going on? Just please tell us, like, please. But he paced. It was like a really hard decision for him, and came back. He said, Emily. I went up there, and I do admit from watching past seasons with chefs that kind of bonded with him a lot, he always said something to them that was like, maybe I'll see you again, because with him, he was such an mentor and such an amazing coach that I had a dream to just work with him. I got that dream by working with him in Hell's Kitchen. I never had that dream before, but with working with him on the show, I was like, man, I would love to work with him after. He was just such a good coach and mentor. So I was like, please, please, please say something about me working with you later. Like, I would love to see you again. And then at the very end, I was like fangirling. I was like, please. And at the very end, they don't show this in the show, but he goes, I'll say this in my British accent. He goes, and when this is all said and done, my door is always open. And I was like, oh my God. So that's when they show that I start bawling, that's what he said to me. And so that's why I start completely losing it. And we hug and whatever. And it's amazing. So to be able to hear him say that before that, when he was saying all that stuff, I was like, please, please, please say something about me seeing you later. And it happened. So it was just the best kind of exit that I could have experienced. And yeah, I think that was the question, right? If I was thinking about what he was saying to me.
Yeah, that was good. And also, by the way, that's a really good accent, especially after a tequila shot.
That's something I was kind of curious about too. Like, do you feel like after watching yourself, like, do you feel like you know, however, you know, everybody here is like a reality fan. So like everybody knows, like when you watch these reunions and things like that, they're like, oh no, that was editing. That wasn't me. You know, that was editing. Do you ever feel like you've seen anything, even like, you know, things that it's not necessarily like, no, that's not what I said, but you're like, that's not how that happened. You know, like, do you ever find yourself wondering like, or telling people that you might be watching it like, oh, that's not what happened. You know, like.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm very surprised at how accurately they portrayed all of us. I think everybody, except for Antonio. Antonio's the sweetest human being. I mean, I don't know why they made him the villain, but they portrayed.
Yeah, at the beginning they made him look like a really annoying guy, and
yeah, and at first when we all came together and he was really passionate, maybe at first we were like maybe you're too confident, but when you get to know him, he is super talented. He's super sweet. I just did a pop-up with him at his restaurant in New Braunfels the other week, and I'm just amazed by how talented he is and how, like, I consider him a good friend. And so we were like, what? Like, why are you considered the villain in this episode? That's the only thing that we were like, this is weird.
yeah,
But
you kind of got to see a little bit of the change afterward, because I ended up liking the guy. Like at first I was like, I hope this guy's gone quick. And then later on I was like, no, I kind of like him.
yeah, I got a lot of messages that was like, wait, Antonio's kind of cool. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that I think was a little bit off, but everybody was portrayed pretty accurately. And I'm happy that they didn't portray me as like the weird hippie, like, like don't eat the cows, you know? But they portrayed me as who I was.
Oh man, if they would have done that and taken like a little Matthew McConaughey to it, like kind of just like, hey, I'm from Texas and
Whatever he
I
does,
don't eat cows. Yeah.
They just like Photoshop a headband on you and stuff, and you're like, "That's not me. Like, I didn't do that."
Photoshop Matthew McConaughey's head on me, and I'm like, "Wait, that's not me."
I think there was one episode though that they tried to take a shot at you, and I say that not as ugly, but it was kind of like they want, like there was something you cooked and then you didn't taste it afterwards because the meat was already introduced, and they kind of like were talking the confidentials, and they're like, whoa, I don't understand why you wouldn't taste it, or why would it be like, of course you can't know what it tastes like if you don't taste it, something like that.
You talking about the Brussels sprouts when I left the Brussels sprouts off the plate?
I can't remember what the ingredient. Yeah, I think so. Where it was like, well, it's because I had already introduced the meat to it, and so I didn't taste it.
You're thinking of the other vegan.
Oh no.
Lobster butter.
Oh yes.
What you're thinking of?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Sorry. Oh well, see, here's the beautiful thing about Too Hard Too Fast. We were totally gonna cut that out and make it look like that never happened.
Very great. Very
He's gonna not make himself look like the villain anymore. There it goes.
I think you should add it in and you'll be the villain of the episode. How dare you? Just kidding.
You should. Oh, you should. I'm totally gonna leave all this in now. Well, then see, okay, then that stops my whole question, because what I was thinking of you, even when I was asking about how you're comfortable cooking with meat, and now my dogs are going crazy. So sorry. Now they got the zoomies. So I was thinking about, like, the whole time I was thinking about leading up to this one question that I just messed up with the whole vegan and vegetarian stuff. Oh man. All right. So what's next? What's next for Emily Hirsch?
What's next? So right now, I'll go a little bit back. So when I was in quarantine, I found a love and a passion for food media and for recipe development. So I ended up partnering with a company called Nature's Eats, and they're in Boerne, Texas. And I developed you'll like this if you're cutting out pasta, if you're trying to cut out some gluten.
Yeah.
I've developed a flour that is all-purpose gluten-free flour. And so it's almond flour based, and it is a cup for cup. So You can bake with it, you can cook with it, and it should be just as you would with all-purpose flour. So that's been fun. And I'm working.
Okay.
Wait, you said you came up with this?
Yes, I've developed it. I developed it during the whole year of quarantine. So it was a lot of failed cupcakes in my parents' home before it was packaged, before it was sent out. So you can find it at HEB and a couple in Amazon, I think. And
What's it called? Did you say what's it called?
It's called Almond Plus.
Almond.
So it's Nature's Eats Almond Plus, and it's a cup for cup, I think. And it's in a purple package, and it's gluten-free, it's almond flour based, and it's just an almond flour mix, and very minimal ingredients, no like type of starches or anything like that, which I really enjoy about it. And we're doing a new project, which I'm really excited about with, you guys know Run DMC, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so Daryl McDaniels wanted to make a cookie line. So
did I see you in a picture on IG with him? Oh man, okay.
So he's the coolest dude. Like he told me his whole life story, and I like wanted to go, like, I don't know, run a marathon after, because I'm so motivated. Like the coolest. But we're doing a line of cookies with him. And that will be coming up soon. So we're excited about that. And then doing very, very motivated and passionate about food media. So I have a YouTube channel called The Self-Help Chef. And it is a combination of plant-based cooking and mental, physical, and spiritual health. And I have experts in there and we talk about different things. So for example, there was a show called Mac and Cheese and Meditation, and we had a yoga instructor from Austin actually come on, and we made vegan mac and cheese, and then we did a little meditation afterwards. So it's a fun play on combining two things that I'm passionate about and just talking about things that I think are important to talk about and get out there on YouTube and on different platforms. So that's what I'm doing now, and still in San Antonio, still loving it. And yeah, so that's what's happening, and I'm excited. So follow me on those things.
Follow for sure. I'm really excited about this. I want to try this almond flour, because I don't know if it's the same, but I'm a big fan of almond milk. And you were saying that you gave out milk. So are you a fan of almond milk? Do you do almond milk now?
Yeah, I love almond milk. I'd say almond milk and oat milk are my favorite plant-based milks. Yeah,
I'm strictly almond. I'll stay like there was so many different milks that were introduced to me during my 80% vegan time. And the only one I like was almond milk, and it's the HEB brand almond milk.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah. I won't switch to like any of the others.
Understandable. It's cool to be a diehard fan of almond milk. I support it.
I know, so something to die on, right? I don't know why I'm like hardcore, like set on like this is the only brand I'm drinking.
Don't even try to shove oat milk in my face.
Yeah, stick in coconut milk.
Yeah,
they have coconut milk, right? Or coconut water. Either way, it sucks.
Yeah, there's even like macadamia milk or something.
Oh, I'd be down to try that real quick. I'm gonna change. I'd be down to try that.
I thought you were loyal.
I thought I was too, but I mean, I'm down for some macadamia.
Have you tried hemp milk? Do you like hemp milk?
I like hemp milk. Hemp milk.
Really? I have a friend that likes it, and I've had one like spoon, like little glass, and I was like, no, I couldn't do it.
It tastes kind of like matcha, right?
A little bit. See, maybe that's why, because I don't like matcha. So that's probably what it is too. I'm not a matcha fan.
Yeah, it's earthy for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a matcha fan. I like matcha.
I do like matcha.
It's so weird, but I like it. All right, Emily, I want to stay on all night with you, but I know you have to eat, and I'm having a great time. So let's take one more shot, and then we're going to go and do your too hard, too fast story.
Okay.
That way you can talk in cursive as you're like telling us your story.
I can. Hopefully the ice has stayed.
Larry, you're not getting out of this one. You're doing it with us.
I'm actually going to grab a beer, so sorry, I'm off the screen.
I'll do a little. I'm going to do a little baby shot.
Just a little one. That's fine. All good. You're going to have to enjoy your lentils.
I'll really enjoy my food now.
I really need to find green lentils. I see how much of a vegetable person I'm not. Like I thought lentils were red because I found red lentil pasta. So I'm like, oh, they're red. Cool.
There's different colors of quinoa. There's different colors of lentils. Different colors of rice. So much variety.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm just thinking before we take the shot. Are you working as a chef here somewhere in San Antonio?
I was at Jardine. I'm no longer working at a restaurant. So I'm more so transitioning into the food media, recipe development sort of life. So I had a really good time with Jardine with Chef Jason Davey, and taught me a lot, and still looking to do some like catering stuff with him later on. But now I'm doing a couple pop-ups around the city. So stay tuned. I think we're gonna do a pop-up with if you guys have heard Green Vegetarian Cuisine. It's in the Quarry and it's in Alon Market. It's a big vegetarian restaurant here, so we're gonna do a pop-up there. And
that's where I eat the eggplant parm.
Yes, that place in Earthburger. It's owned by the same chef. My two favorite restaurants.
Oh, I've never been to Earthburger, but I will say I'm not a fan of whoever made up bean burgers.
I don't like bean burgers. Yeah, I'm saying that just like having made a bean burger like last week. But I'm a huge fan of like the Impossible meat, so I'd rather have that, and then I'll have the bean burger later.
I need to have somebody that knows how to cook it, the Impossible meat, because I don't be like Emily, but you cook one for me. Because thank you. I would appreciate. I would love that actually. But I tried making one here and I completely messed it up, and it was the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. But I think it was a user error, not that, but I've never gone back to it. So, if it's you or somebody that knows what they're doing, I would appreciate it. And I would try it again.
Can I tell you all really fast where you can buy a good bean burger that's already made for you to eat?
No, Larry, you cannot.
From Austin, and Emily, you'd probably know because you lived here, or you went to school here and lived here. P. Terry's, their veggie burger.
That's bean-based?
It's a black bean burger.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a black bean patty, their veggie burger. But okay, so we're like earlier we're talking about like 80% whatever. So I'm the weirdo that goes to the P. Terry's right here and I pull into the line. They're like, what can we get for you? I'm like, can I get the veggie burger, but can you add bacon? And it never fails. Any P. Terry's I go to in Austin, they're like, add bacon, and I'm like, yeah, just add some bacon to it, But like even without the bacon, like their bean burgers are amazing. That's what the veggie burger is.
I didn't know that they were bean based. I didn't know they were bean based. I've had them before.
Yeah, they're bean based. They're really good.
Okay.
Really
well, now there's one here in San Antonio, so
it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's all by the medical area, by where the Hooters on Wurzbach is at.
If it's not the same, I'm not going to it.
It's the same. Larry's just talking mess because he's in Austin. He wants to be hipster.
That's like living here, and then they were like, "Oh, we got a Shake Shack," and my sister was
all
like,
right.
Shake Shack. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, cool, great, like, go do that. That's fine."
Austin, it's like
yeah. You can't find, but I can't find a Bill Miller. There's only 2 Bill Millers here, which to me is weird because in San Antonio there's one like every 20 feet. So it's like, what are you gonna do? So you gotta. Anyway, sorry, I started rambling again.
I've had the P. Terry's here in San Antonio. It's really good. It's to me, from what I ordered, it was the same. So
okay, we'll go
take it to that, Larry. All right. So cheers, Lars, Emily.
I still like tequila. Yeah. Cheers.
Too Hard, Too Fast. Thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me. Yum. Coconut.
All right, Larry. Will you do the honors? I didn't even tell you. I didn't prep you on this, did I, Larry?
Yeah, you didn't prep me on this one. I'm like,
so usually what I say, do the honors, is when you ask, do you have a Too Hard, Too Fast story that you're comfortable sharing with us?
Okay.
Want to try that again? Let's do it.
We're gonna edit. Okay.
Larry, will you do the honors?
I sure will, George. So Emily, do you have a too hard, too fast story you'd like to share with us before we go?
Of course. So this is not a drinking too hard, too fast story, but this is a experience when I was a young chef, too hard, too fast story. So this wasn't shown in Hell's Kitchen, but I don't think that I am anymore because I grew up, but I'm a little bit of a messy chef. So when I was working at my first restaurant, I was like rushing to get things prepared. We do prep 2 hours before dinner service. So it was 2 hours before. I had to make some sort of puree. And have y'all heard of the Vitamix? It's like a really nice blender.
Yes.
Very nice.
I have the cheap version because I
Yes.
can't afford that one.
But so this restaurant had the nice version. And during this day, my chef was very well known, and she was having a documentary filmed about her at the restaurant. And so this was like my first month working at her restaurant, and I was trying to work really hard. There's a camera in front of my face. This was before Hell's Kitchen, so I was like, oh, there's a camera, like try to be a really good cook, whatever. And so I was pretty inexperienced with blenders, foreshadow. And so I was some sort of like avocado puree or something. And there's this like little thing, it's called a plunger. And so you push it down to like mix things up. And I had put the plunger in first before the lid, and I turned it on high. The blender explodes. It hits, the shards come out, and the shards are like shards. So I'm like, oh my God, it's going to stab somebody in the eye. It flies into my head chef, who's like really, really scary. Amanda Cohen, by the way, she's the chef at Dirt Candy. Very like badass, but also scary. Hits her, flies into her hair while the camera is on her. And I knew she wanted to like rip me apart, but she like turned around and was like, it happens. Like with these like, I knew what was behind her eyes. I was like, oh my God, she wants to kill me. Like I literally just exploded a blender in front of her face during a documentary. And so then I realized, I was like, oh, maybe I like shouldn't try to go so fast in the kitchen without thinking about what I'm doing.
You can say it. Too hard, too fast.
That was too hard, too fast. Way too hard, too fast.
So,
and she like talked about it again. So I was like,
well, that's a good one. Would you say that's like the worst accident you've had in the kitchen?
there was another time where there are like these little bowls of food that I had to prep, and I made probably about 50. I had them in a sheet pan. I dropped all of them before service, and they all broke. It was a rough training period as a chef, I will admit. But I think the blender kind of outdoes it. I think the blender is probably for.
Oh man, I love that. That's a good too hard too fast story. Real quick before we end things, I want to say that halfway through this episode or this whole recording, I realized that on my shirt are not pineapples. I thought I was being real cheesy. I got the orange can, Oktoberfest, the Texas, everything. I thought for food, pineapples. Well, they're they're palm trees. It's a brand new shirt. I was like being super cheesy about everything, and that's what I don't know if there's a moment where I looked on the camera and I went, that's not pineapples. Oh man. So I wanted to share that before we let you go.
That's okay. I love the shirt.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You guys send me your address so I can send you some Chef M t-shirts.
Oh yes, of course. And also
your address.
What's that?
For sure.
Send me your sizes and send me your address, and I'll send you guys some shirts.
Perfect. I appreciate that, and that's awesome.
I'm buying some of your flour tonight too. I'm going on Amazon and I'm looking for your flour.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Because
awesome.
Tag everything.
For sure.
Oh, speaking of tagging, where can somebody find you?
Ooh, yes. So my Instagram is Chef Emily Hirsch, Chef_Emily_Hirsch. And then everything else is the same. So YouTube is the same. Twitter is the same without the underscore. and Facebook is the same without the underscore. So Chef Emily Hirsch, if you search it, you can probably find my picture and find my page. So yes.
Awesome. And I'll add it in editing, but also I'll add it in all the descriptions. So if you're listening to this on audio platforms, it's in the description. If you're on YouTube watching the video version, it's in the description. Emily Hirsch has just gone too hard, too fast with us and has taken 2 shots with us. She didn't speak in cursive. She kind of held her own. I'm about to start speaking in cursive. Larry just co-hosted his first Too Hard, Too Fast. Good job, Larry. Thank you for that. So with that said, Emily, thank you. Larry, what do you have to say?
Too hard, too fast. You didn't prep me again. This is a prep failure.
Whatever, Larry. It was good enough. And with that said, remember, dare to be you, dare to be weird. Bye.